Good morning, fellow traders. Bob here. It's time for the Good Morning Market Prep for Tuesday, February the 23rd, 2021. I hope everybody had a great night last night. This is brought to you by Positive Trends Research, and everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice, so please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. Good. All right, well, let's check and see where we left off with the market yesterday. So SPX, pulled back. We had an upper shadow. We're still green here on the monthly chart. Weekly chart, a little bit concerning, right? Because we had this dark cloud cover last week, and we're getting some follow through the downside, right? 60% chance that we get follow through the downside right there. Again, are we heading into a major crash right here? I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not the same as the Corona crash, right? We like we talked about last week, right? I mean, the RSI and the weekly chart never got overbought up here, so we're not really seeing the same type of divergences that we saw last time. So again, guys, it's just a little bit of red right here so far. So the big thing that we are tracking, though, is this potential subwave 2 of a larger wave 5 up, right? So right now we've been below the 80 MA. We're just trying to check here to see how low this thing can go. You get to the 382, get the 618, 50-day moving average bounce potential. Maybe off the cloud, we'll see, or maybe just off the 382, fill this gap again back from the downside, and then kind of go from there. So just about everything's gapping down this morning, but we'll see. Basically, what we want to do today is focus on the names that we've been expecting some pullbacks on, and then looking for some bounces, right? So that's kind of the idea there today. Otherwise, if they get real nasty today with selling, we'll just go with the weakest sectors and just short whatever comes up, right? So, but again, one of the big things that we did see yesterday, right, was we closed below this Thursday's low, but again, it was on declining volume. So again, it's scary, but it's not that scary. So we'll see how it goes. But again, a couple key sectors, a couple things that we looked at on the short side yesterday, like WDC gapping down here this morning is one of the things we pointed out in our group. A couple other names like that. So, but generally here we broke. The key thing is that we early this morning here at night, about like 4 a.m. we broke down below the triangle low that we drew last night, and so that gave us some sharp selling here. But we're still holding the single prints from the from February 4th, and kind of bouncing off of that. So we're testing a couple signal zones that formed here this morning, and so we'll see how that goes going into the open session today. Again, they took a lot of the fun out pre-market, but for futures traders, right? So there's still some good opportunities to take advantage of these moves, and the tools that we have in our group are definitely helpful for that. So good stuff there. Again, same thing. So we're basically just going to continue to track a lot of these levels and see how we do here today. I mean, generally things are just kind of blah. So we'll just see how it holds going into today. Again, kind of channeling down here. So just see how these levels hold. Maybe it'll work its way up here and then come back down, and then we'll see where we go from there. So so good stuff. So let's see what else. Let's take a look and see what the Qs are looking like here this morning. So Qs, again, this is kind of a level here. We just drew this in the bubble report this morning. It's a level, it's a congestion zone from way back yonder. And we did bounce off of that. We call it the 314 zone, the pi zone, right? So we kind of bounced off of that here this morning. Here, let's see how that holds going into today. It's kind of the most big level of support that we've seen in the intermediate time frames here. So we'll see how that holds going into today. The IWM, same thing here too. Again, we talked about this geometric line. We talked about losing these levels right here. If we did, right, we may see the 220 areas here. So right now, right, these levels are being tested here pre-market. So see if that holds as resistance, and if they do want to ultimately try to get down to the 220 level. The big thing, big major thing right here is the XLF. Good grief, it's hard to really see a big market crash here when the banks are strong. We talked about this last night. If you guys didn't see the video last night, definitely check the video at the end of this video, the video link at the end of this video, so you can see that. So but again, the banks are holding up here, so it's tough to be super duper short, super duper bearish, right? As long as the banks are holding up, just the market's just doing what it's doing. So that's why I'm a little more confident in this just being a wave 2 pullback instead of like a major market crash, right? If the banks were down and they were scared and all that stuff, then it'd be a little bit of a different story. But it's kind of doing its thing right now. So good stuff there. Let's take a look at Apple and see how it's behaving this morning. So Apple, again, it just continued to work its way down. Again, we talked about this yesterday, right? So it's got a fresh downtrend, right? So basically this trend box is gone, right? And we are in a downtrend right now. So these are your downward trend lines. Here's your downward trend line, your macro one. Here's your your bump line right here, your DTL. So just kind of see how it holds. Again, we'll continue to see if rips are shortable here on Apple, and then eventually it's gonna break its way out and do its thing. But it's just continue to hold trend right now. So again, it's bearish until proven otherwise. So that's what we've got going there on Apple, and of course Tesla's the same thing, right? So this also lost a bump line yesterday too, so we can remove that. and this is your macro downward trend line right here, this one. So it's kind of that's a tough geometric line to get to, but we do have this bump line right here, which we're tracking now, and it looks like we're gapping down to about 680. So getting some fall to the downside. Lucid Motors, making its way public through its SPAC, right? The CCIV, right? So that's a potential competitor for Tesla. Big congestion zone right here in this 650 area, right? So again, keep an eye on it. See if we can get above the upward trend, the downward trend line right here, and if we could try to this bump line and see if we can work its way up to this one. If not, right? I mean, the next major level. I mean, got a couple levels in here. We got a big gap down here too in the 400 level, which would be pretty cool if we came back to this triangle. I mean, it'd be cool to see a lot of these names like get down to reality, like $100 or $200, and then we could trade it again with some great premium. So, but anyway, I mean, no big deal. This thing gave an epic run, right? So I mean, it's okay for this thing to pull back. So, but good stuff there on Tesla. So. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to get more in-depth video coverage on the stocks or setups that are on our radar, be sure to join our group or subscribe to the Bubba Report for more morning analysis. The Bubble Report includes S&P 500 review, also a market profile game plan on the S&P futures, sector updates, gappers, orbs, unusual option activity, economic calendar, and we also have Elliott wave counts that are on our radar made by Algo 382. Be sure to click the link at the end of this video to subscribe today.